that's good. I haven't found my first Blanton's. Wow. That's different. I really like that. Peychauds or Peychauds or Peychaud.
Yeah, now I'm gorgeous. Although probably fuzzier was better.
Okay. So this is not what I expected. Hey, how's it going? It is that time of day. Is that time of the week? It's Wednesday. Yes, I know. It's still weird to not do it on Thursday. We're doing it on Wednesday, just for a little while. I'm KC, certified bourbon steward, and welcome to beautiful Bourbon. Let's see, we got Ken watching. Hi, Ken. How's it going? We do have a live studio audience. He has requested to remain anonymous and off camera, so that's fine. But I will be sharing a little bit of this pour with him over here sitting off camera. So that's fine. Tom is watching. Tom, I got something for you. Haha. You've been looking for it. I got it done today. That's as cryptic as I'm going to get. Let's get into it. We know that Bob Dylan is an artist. We know that he is a poet. He's a sculptor. He's a painter. He does welding art. I'm going to sneeze because that's what things are these days, is me sneezing in the middle of a Bourbcast. We'll try to avoid it if we can. John's watching. Hey, John. Yeah, it's coming. Thank you. He's a writer. Matter of fact, it's his work with welded iron gates from the Black Buffalo Ironworks that adorns every bottle of Heaven's Door whiskey. But how involved is Bob Dylan with it? Well, his name is on it. It's said that he's a full partner in the brand and that he's not merely licensing his name. Now, somebody today was telling me that they thought that it was Bob Dylan's family that was kind of behind it. But the more I research it, the more I think, no, it's a partnership between the company that's making the stuff and Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan personally tastes every bottle, and he gives his notes, and his notes can be a bit odd. We'll get into this. I got a whole bunch of stuff to tell you. Whiskey has loomed large in Dylan's portfolio of music. Yeah, they see you. The guy who didn't want to be seen just got seen.
I was waving at Tom.
Okay. Oh, I see. Hi, John. Hi, Tom. Now we see. Okay. Now Tom has distracted me, and now John has distracted me. Thank you, friends. All right. Let's get back to it. Whiskey has been large in Dylan's portfolio of music. He's referenced whiskey in songs such as Shot of Love, Cold Iron Bounds, and Moonshiner. Lament about life as a distiller. He says, if whiskey don't kill me, then I don't know what will, he sang in the 1963 release. According to one report I read, he does taste and approve. One of his notes with the double barrel release that we're drinking today, he said to the distiller, he says, I want it to taste more like a wooden structure. The distiller, or actually the master blender, looked at him and said, I don't know what to do with that. But they figured it out, and here we go. All the reviews on this have been pretty darn good. So we're going to find out. I'm going to pour one for the audience member. Just a little bit, because he's driving me to go fishing here in a little bit. Okay, now that's neat. And it's 100 proof, I believe. Yeah, this is 100 proof, so this is going to be a little hot. Okay. So, another name on this, other than Bob Dylan, is a guy by the name of Mark Bushala. Now, he's the guy who founded Angel's Envy. There's also, now, first of all, this company, the Heaven's Door, I had to look at it. What are you talking about, Casey? It's only 4 years old. Now, Bob Dylan is 81 this year. The company's only 4 years old. It's a collaboration between legendary artist Bob Dylan and Spirits Investment Partnership. That stands for SIP, or SIP stands for whatever. Spirits Investment Partnership. Owned by Bushala and master blender Ryan Perry. You might know Ryan Perry's name. He's been a master blender with Diageo, And this is Bob Dylan's first and only brand partnership. He doesn't do this with anything else. He's kind of particular about things like this. Heaven's Doors aim to be an ever-evolving portfolio of handcrafted whiskeys in collaboration with different master distillers and blenders from across the country. Now, this is an interesting thing. Most companies have a master distiller or a master blender. These guys get juice from different places, and then they have a master distiller come in and have them work on that bottle. Now, one master distiller did the first 3 bottles, and every subsequent release after that, after those first 3 products that are going to be mainstays, they have a different master distiller. So when you think about it a certain way, they're sourcing their whiskey, we'll get into that, and they're sourcing their distillers. Kind of strange. I like that. Somebody else wrote that. I thought it was good, so that's why I said it. Let's see. So this it took a lot of research to find out what it is, because on the website it says that there's a blend of Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana rye in it. Tennessee whiskey, Kentucky whiskey, and Indiana rye. Most likely MGP. And as I looked into it more and more and more, I don't know where Kentucky's coming from, because there seemed to be nothing about Kentucky in this bottle. It seems like there is one distiller who's undisclosed. It could be Dickel, or it could be a craft distiller, or it could be one of each. But they have the one straight bourbon that comes from Tennessee for sure. Then they have another one that comes from somebody else in Tennessee. Both of them go through the Lincoln County process where they run it through that maple charcoal, that maplewood charcoal. The Indiana rye is also put through the Lincoln County process with this particular bottle. So now you've got 3 of them, and they sit in their own casks for 6 years. So the one bourbon from Tennessee gets its own cask. It's a charred cask. Then the second one from Tennessee gets its own cask. It's a charred cask. It's new oak, just like it's supposed to be. Same thing for the rye. After 6 years goes by, they take some from this barrel, some from this barrel, and some from this barrel, and they blend it together, and they put it in another new cask, an oak cask that's been toasted, hand toasted, not charred, toasted. And then they let it sit in there for a year, and then it's ready. Essentially, they may taste it and make some decisions, but essentially it's ready after that 7th year. Okay, that's kind of how they do it, and it's really an interesting idea to source distillers and booze. And a lot of people online were really kind of pissy about the fact that they didn't know enough about it. They wanted to know more about the distilleries that contribute. But with this nomadic way of creating whiskeys, who cares? As long as the blending is good and the master distiller is doing their job, who gives a crap? I like the idea. It's a totally different business model than the way everybody else is doing, even the way Angel's Envy does it, or Buzzard's Roost does it. It's just different. And it's kind of an innovative way. Now, does that mean that you cannot expect the same thing every time? I think, like with these first 3 products, they're going to be relatively consistent. They're not a single barrel. They're a blend. So I think they're going to be consistent. But we'll have to see what happens as they go along and they make other products. And I've gotten so far off script. I think I've gotten pretty well where I wanted to do. Let's see. Everything is sourced, and okay, everything is sourced. We talked about that, and probably will be for a while. But they are finishing up a construction of a distillery and center for the arts in downtown Nashville, housed in a 160-year-old church. It'll have the distillery, a whiskey library, a restaurant, art sanctuary, and a 360-seat performance venue. I think that sounds really fitting. Let's see. This bottle is the double barrel whiskey, blend of 3 whiskeys. We talked about that. The master distiller on this one is a guy by the name of Jordan Villa, who once worked at Breckenridge Distillery. It sells in Ohio for $55. It's 100 proof, and I've got some tasting notes that I'm not going to read. And let's get it. I poured it. Okay, so we got people talking. Joe's watching. Thanks. You tried it already?
Yeah, I've been sipping it every day.
Oh my,
Off camera.
sipping off camera. Yep. Catching the Bourbcast live. Hey, Michael, how are you? Happy to be here. Also, Bob is a legend. Blood on the tracks. Ken is watching. Rick is watching. Hi, Rick. Norm is watching. Hey, we got some new names. I'm glad you're here. Normally, we are here on Thursdays. We had to switch to Wednesdays for just a short period, probably till about the middle of September. Then we'll go back to Thursdays. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. All right, let's get into this. Now, I'm going to be posting a link when this is done. It's a YouTube link to the song Knocking on Heaven's Door. It was actually written by Bob Dylan for a movie called Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. It's a scene. It's for a scene in which there's a shootout between the law and Billy the Kid's old gang. The sheriff, who's played by Slim Pickens, goes out to the lake to die, is joined by his wife, and as they're out there and he's realizing that he's dying, the song starts to play. And Bob Dylan calls the wife Mama. And the characters in the movie, I guess, is Mama. He calls her Mama. That's his wife. A little weird. But I've seen people do it. It's cute when they get really, really old. Mama, take this badge from me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Mama, put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That cold black cloud is coming down. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. The guy who wrote the review for the YouTube video says Dylan's lyrics bring to mind the idea that whatever cause seemed like it was worth dying for may not actually feel that way at the moment of death. Pretty poignant, I think. All right, let's try this. Ooh, wow. Okay, that's got a great nose. I could have probably put this in a bourbon glass and been very happy. But we're doing it in the Glencairns because everybody online said they did it in Glencairn, so okay. Again, those of you just joining us for the first time, you may not realize the difference. The bourbon glasses are a little wider, and the snoot up top is a little bit wider. And the scent for the nose will not be quite as concentrated as it is with the Glencairn glass. With this, the odor, the smells, the aromas are concentrated throughout the experience. So when you nose it, when you sip it, the scent stays concentrated as you sip. It helps with the experience. But not all bourbons require that, and this one probably didn't have to have a Glencairn, but we're gonna experience it and just see what I think of it. One of the things I found as I was researching it was that everybody has a different take on this. There are people who found all sorts of notes out of this that are out in left field, and I'm going to give you my take, and it's probably going to be different than everybody else's and different than yours would be. So, all right, so here we go. So some of the people I remember, I didn't look at the notes really heavy, but a lot of them said that the oak came out first, and I'm not getting oak first. What I'm getting is I'm getting citrus first. That oak, once you get your nose down in there, I'm getting that oak. See, now that it's set and I'm moving it around, I'm playing with it, and I've already had my first experience with it, now I'm glad I have the Glencairn because it has seemed to have settled down some into the nose. So give me just a second here. It looks like my feed on my phone has been interrupted. So I'm going to jump back into it here. Eventually. They have to make it so hard. Facebook changed stuff, and it's just annoying. There we go. Okay, now I'm back and running. Okay. Okay, so now I've had a chance to get into it, and some of those rye notes are popping through. That toasted cereal type of thing, some of the baking spices. It's not front and center, though. There's definitely a really nice, almost a mint in places. Spearmint to me. Definitely a butterscotch. This is a really nice nose. It's unique, and I think everything about this experience is going to be unique. So let's give it a try, shall we? Slow bloom. Again, for those of you just joining us, a bloom is actually a coffee term. But it's the way I describe that alcohol burn on the tongue. Sometimes it moves, sometimes it's stationary. Sometimes it grows, sometimes it doesn't. This one was a nice bloom. It was very slow. Starts in the center, made its way out slowly. It didn't rob my mouth of moisture like a lot of higher proofers do. I wouldn't say it's particularly acidic. It has a nice mouthfeel. It's not buttery and it's not silky, but it's not young, right? It's got a really nice mature mouthfeel to it. It's a double barrel. Let's see if I can get you some notes. Because that first one I just needed to experience first. I normally try to hold it on my tongue for 10 or 12 seconds, get past that ethanol burn, and then after that I can finally start tasting and getting some notes out of it. That's got a really nice, on the first taste, a really nice bourbon-esque note. This isn't bourbon. It's made with bourbons, straight bourbons. And it's got a lot of bourbon notes to it. What I got out of that was a lot of caramel. The oak is very present, but the caramel leapt out at me. It's got nice medium legs. I can still have it, but it's not overbearing. And I'm thinking that the legs are, to me, they mirror the palate. So that aftertaste, that thing that holds on, I'm finding that to be very, very similar to the palate itself. Let's do it again. I've got a little bit left. Let's try it. Okay, that time I got a lot more of the oak. I'm getting a little bit of a cherry, just a little, maybe, it's not black cherry, it's cherry on the edges of it. That bloom just hit me again. I'm getting caramel. Gosh. There's this. Okay, let me just say this. This is good. This is good. I like this. This is a standout. I could drink this easily. I was skeptical. I've had this bottle for, I think I've had this bottle for over a year. I bet I've had this for a year and a half. And I haven't felt compelled to open it. Well, I was looking for bottles to open, and why not? You want more? You probably shouldn't. You're going to be driving. Okay. All right. You probably handle another taste.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Just another taste. We don't have to go right away. There. How's that? Is that all right? Okay. Yeah, we're very careful here. You know, when I do these Bourbcasts, I intend to stay in for the evening. We get done. I get done, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. That's just the way it works. Big oak, big caramel, big bloom explosion hangs out for a few minutes. It does. Hi, Ken. All right. There's a lot going on in here. There's a lot of, the more you drink it, the more it like opens up as you try it. There's different flavors that come out every time. So I'm going to shut up and try it again. I think for the 100 proof, it's spot on. It's not too hot for 100 proof. It's not too timid for 100 proof. This is right in that where it ought to be, as far as the heat. I think it would stand up very well on a cocktail, but I don't know that I'd put it in a cocktail because some of these bourbons are just really, really good the way they are. And why make a cocktail out of this when you can make it out of something that probably isn't as good neat, but is still 100 proof or still up there and would taste great in a cocktail. Now, that being said, I love Rittenhouse Rye, but it's fantastic in an old-fashioned. So, I mean, I'm not a curmudgeon or anything. All right, one more, then I'll do one with some water on it. You got oak off of this. Okay, Aaron's watching. Yeah, I mean, it's oaky. Dylan said he wanted it to taste like a wooden structure. It does. That's very fair. And as I sit here and experience it, I'm taken back to that Old West, and I'm thinking about boot leather. And I mean, somebody had said that there were some leather notes in it, and I get that on the finish. I'm not getting it on the palate. I'm not getting it on the nose, but in the finish, I'm getting that. But again, leather sounds to somebody who's drinking or eating like, ew. Ugh. But to give that attribute to bourbon is a high compliment. Think about the smell of leather. It's very pleasing. It's a new car or a Corinthian leather couch or a knife sheath or brand new cowboy boots. There's something about that that's great scent to it. And you can make that last by taking good care of it, keeping it clean and using conditioners and things like that. I'm digressing. I'm sorry. Let's get back to it. There's just a slight sweetness to it. Again, every time I taste it, and maybe this is why there were so many different disparate notes on it, because every sip brings new characters. Like just for a second there, I got a hint of cotton candy. And that's normally not a compliment. But in this case, it adds just a tiny bit of sweetness to it that really makes it really a nice pour, and it's a complex pour. And the ones that you drink and they're different each time, I like that. There's just something about that it's adventurous, So for me, I'm getting into that a lot. All right, so do you want a little water on? You already drank it. All right, I'm going to give you just one more little taste. And we're, no? I gotta drive. Okay, I won't.
You do it.
I'll do it. All right, no more for him. He's driving. He's got a nice car, a lot nicer than mine.
On the second half of the first one, I tried it with Mountain Dew in it.
You put Mountain Dew in it?
It's the real sugar Mountain Dew. It's the old stuff.
So
amazing.
A while back, I've told you the story before. I'm going to tell you the story again. We did Rare Breed. This guy was with me when I took my picture of Rare Breed. It's one of the few pictures that I've taken in portrait mode. And it was a bad mistake to take it in portrait mode because I can't use it for video. But as far as a portrait goes, it's gorgeous. We lit it with 2 cell phones. That's it. Out in the woods. And I just happened to take it with me. Well, we got back and I said, let's try this bad boy. And it's hot. I mean, Rare Breed is hot. 116 proof or maybe higher. I don't remember what it was. And I had never had it before. And I wasn't real big into high proof bourbons yet at the time. So I wasn't sure what to expect. So I took a sip of this and it was like, ah, it's like my video that I did Stag. It's like, ah. And he was the same way, so he added a little Mountain Dew. They added a little more Mountain Dew. And by the time he was done with that one pour, he had added an entire bottle of Mountain Dew. And I'm like, I will never drink bourbon with you again. But here we are. And he added Mountain Dew to it. I love it. You mix everything with Mountain Dew, I know. I don't drink Mountain Dew. Ugh. All right. So I have already filled this with water. I got about a milliliter of water in it. LOL. Toasted marshmallow.
It's in there.
I don't remember what toasted marshmallow tastes like because I hate marshmallows. I'm one of those. There are very few foods on this earth that I don't like. Popcorn is one of them, and marshmallow is one of them.
Are you even American?
Right? And the reason I don't like them, well, there's lots. For popcorn, there's lots. I don't like the way it sounds when people eat it. I don't like the way it smells when it's cooking. I don't like the way it feels in my mouth. And I don't like the way it tastes. Popcorn is vile. Okay? Okay. I don't care what you put on it. It can be cheese. It can be butter. It can be salt. It can be poop. I don't care. It's going to taste vile. No matter what you do with it, it's bad. Okay. Now. What were we talking about? What was the other food?
Marshmallow.
Marshmallows. Thank you. I've been drinking a little bit. Okay, marshmallows. They're too sweet, and I don't like the way they feel in my mouth. I am not a sugar eater. I don't eat a lot of sweets, and to eat a great big fluffy puffy ball of sugar, especially when it's melted and gooey, no. No. Okay. We added water to it. See, I get a studio audience and I get distracted. All right. See that bottle right beside you?
Which one?
That one right there?
This one?
Yeah, hand me that.
No.
Thank you. All right. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All right, here we go. See, trying to nose a whiskey after you've added water to it, I mean, you really got to stick your nose down in there, and I'm not getting anything really different. Some of the reviewers, again, I very briefly looked at it, but they said that they got a different thing, and no. But, COVID knows. There are certain things I'm sure I never came back from. Like Coast deodorant soap, can't use it anymore. Smells like a dumpster fire. I used to love Coast. I can't use it anymore. Thanks a lot, COVID. By thank you, I mean screw you. Okay. Wow. That's nice. It took a little of the heat out of the 100 proof. Still nice heat in it. Don't get me wrong. It's still there. Definitely made it sweeter. Just ever so slightly. Now, I don't know where that sweetness is coming from, so I'll do it again so that so I can try to tell you where the sweetness is coming from. It's definitely sweeter. Definitely lighter. I want to say it's honey. Some of those vanilla notes have come out. But that caramel is just there. It's just so present. It's a sweeter caramel. Again, I'm not a huge advocate of adding water to stuff, but there are some that it really does help. And this one, not that it needed it, it just gives you another expression of it. Every time you sip this, it's just different. You add water to it, and it's just different again. And I mean, the mouthfeel is very nice. I won't say that it added anything significant to the mouthfeel. It's still not super buttery. It's not like an unfiltered, right? And it's definitely just a really nice drink that I think you're going to like. And somebody's talking. Really mellows out the oak. That is true. Innocent bystander. You're not innocent. There's nothing innocent about you. Go great on the rocks? We'll find out. We'll find out about that.
You gonna go get Rocky?
Nope. I got him. All right, so on water, I would say that it sweetens up a little bit, takes down that fire just a little bit, changes the expression just ever so slightly. I'm getting honey, I'm getting a lighter, sweeter caramel. One more. And I will tell you this. I find myself not being in love with the results of the Lincoln County process. There's something about Tennessee whiskey that makes it Tennessee whiskey, and that's the Lincoln County process. And there's something about Tennessee whiskey that is off-putting to me. It doesn't give me the bourbon that I want. Now, there are some exceptions. As much as I hate to admit it, the Dickel, bottled and bond, was heads and tails better than any other Dickel I've ever tried. The 12-year, no. And I have some other ones. I have a single barrel, I think, somewhere. But that bottled and bond is quite good. The Uncle Nearest, I don't love the 1856 because it's very, very much a Tennessee whiskey. The 1884 is sweeter, more mellow, lower proof. I tend to like the 1884 a little bit better. Jack Daniels, I don't like Old Number 7. I am not a fan of Gentleman Jack. They all have that Lincoln County flavor to it. But you get up into the single barrels, and you get up into the barrel-proof single barrels, now you're starting to talk about something that I like a little bit more. I like the sweetness in it in those higher proofs than in the lower proofs. All right. As promised, Mountain Dew with real sugar added a slight sweeter note and gave it the fizz. Fizz? Who wants fizz in bourbon? If you want fizz,
Drink beer.
drink your Eagle Claw. He had that one coming. I got flipped off, by the way. Not that I mind. The nice thing about this one is it's available every day, all day, everywhere. That's another thing that's nice about this. I like the bottles that are good. I was talking to somebody at the liquor store today, and they were asking questions. God bless them, they were asking questions. And she actually was asking about. She asked about Buffalo Trace, the bottle. Then she asked about Eagle Rare. Then she asked about Blanton's. Okay. You're on the interwebs. I get it. Okay, I get it. You want the ones that everybody else wants. Okay, I get it. So we got talking about mash bill. We got talking about, where they are in the Rick House and all those different things. And she learned a lot. It was fun talking to her. It really was, despite the fact that I'm making fun of her Blanton's moment. But the thing I like about this, or 1884 to an extent, or Bullet, or Old Forester, the Whiskey Rose series, or even the 100 proof, even the 86 proof, they're on the shelf all the time. And they're just as good, if not better, than the ones that people will wait hours in line to get because they're allocated. And she had a Weller Special Reserve in her hand, and she knew it was wheated. She knew that, but that's about all she knew. But she stood there, and she was, I think she was there for a half hour, away from the register, just listening to us talk. And I got to meet Quinn. Quinn is a member of one of the groups that I admin, and he came in, and we got the chance to meet. And somebody else that I met today. It was a good day to go to the liquor store. All right, enough talking. Start drinking, KC. All right. Okay, this is rare. I've handed it off. I'm going to tell you some notes, and you're going to think, huh, you're right.
That's fire.
Okay, he likes cold bourbon. He likes it watered down a little bit. This isn't watered down a lot. It's a elegant ice sphere, but something happened with this that doesn't normally happen. I caught salt. It got salty. Not like stupid. Not like, too much. No. But the caramel turned into salted caramel. Yeah, you got it? Okay, so I'm going to do it again. And normally I would not share a cup with anybody. But this guy's my bro. He's my bruh. My brother.
I don't like salt.
You don't like salt, but you like that.
That's good, but yeah.
He's not a salt eater. He won't put salt on anything. He's weird. All right, so normally I would not tell you to put something on ice. But again, this one is such a unique bottle. It's different every time you sip it neat. It's different with water, and it's different with ice. I would tell you that if you get a bottle of Heaven's Door double barrel, do what I did. Try it neat and try it several times neat. And don't go anywhere after you're done. Stay home or have a DD, but try it neat. Get a nice enough pour that you can have several swallows of it. Then try it with a little water. I did 1 milliliter. That's not much. That's not much. And then try it with ice. And don't use ice cubes if you can help it, because they're gonna dilute it crazy. Whereas an ice sphere has less surface area. Instead of a whole bunch of cubes with all that surface area, this is just one big ball with a lot less surface area. So, and it's a clear ice, so it's going to melt a lot slower. It's going to dilute the drink a lot slower. So if you can get an ice sphere, particularly a clear ice sphere, do that. Cubes will not give you the same experience. But this is one of those that I can tell you that every way, this is a superior pour. It's fantastic. It might even go up into my top 25. That's something I don't get to say very often, but it might even go up into my top 25. And if he likes it, that says a lot. Because he liked it without the Mountain Dew. He liked it with the Mountain Dew. But he liked it without it. He liked it on ice.
Ice is the best.
You like the ice the best?
With ice.
Even though it's salty?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so there you have it. This is a great pour. It's got an interesting background, and I'm really surprised. I was ready to hate this one, but I really like this one. This is the Heaven's Door Double Barrel Whiskey. They have other ones. They had 3 that were in the initial launch, and you can find them everywhere, all day, every day. Go to the website and see what they got out there. They're introducing new things all the time, the bottles are cool, so, cool. When they get the distillery done, I'll probably go for a visit. I don't know that I want to listen to his music, but I'll definitely drink his bourbon. Now, what are we doing next week? Next Wednesday. I had him hand me this because I hadn't chosen anything else, and it's one that I haven't tried on the Bourbcast before, let alone tried at all anyhow. I try to save my new ones. Do you want to do that one instead?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I want to try that.
You want to try that one?
Yeah.
He's coming back next Thursday to distract me some more. All right, we're going to do the High West American Prairie Bourbon. All right? So this will be... Now, I went to a liquor store today, and they got the Campfire, and I almost bought it, but I already spent what I went there to spend. So I didn't get it. Hopefully they'll have it later. But Campfire's out right now. It's a Utah bourbon. Hard to get. When you see it, buy it. This one was a limited bottle. You've been holding on to it too. All right. The Woodford should have been Lincoln County? No, Aaron. No. No, we've talked about Woodford. You and I will never agree on Woodford. That's fine. I love you anyway. But no. If you want to filter it, you have the means, you have the expertise. You can make your own charcoal, your own Maplewood charcoal. Try the Lincoln County process, see if you like it. But it's got to trickle. It's got to be real slow. You can't do it. It's got to be a trickle, like drops. It's going to take days. But you can do it. We'll see how it works. I trust you. So, this is the High West American Prairie Bourbon. This is almost 100 proof. I'll have more information on it next week, next Wednesday when we do this. This is a limited release. It was finished for 8 months. It is a peated whiskey, which is going to turn some of you off. The Campfire is going to be a peated whiskey too. That's why it's Campfire. It's going to turn some of you off. Those of you who don't like Scotch because it's smoky, you will hate it. But I like Scotch. Lafroig is like chewing on embers. It is like eating a campfire, and I love it. So I will probably really, really like this. But this is what we're going to do next week, next Wednesday on Beautiful Bourbon. The photo will be added to our Instagram at Beautiful Bourbon soon. And also I'll be adding that YouTube link so you can see the movie that Heaven's Door, Knocking on Heaven's Door, was featured in, and the reason that the song was written. It's been covered hundreds of times, most famously probably by Eric Clapton and by Guns N' Roses in the Use Your Illusion albums. But Heaven's Door, I'll be linking to that in the post as well, in this post. So come back for that. And in the meantime, check out the vlog or the blog or the whatever the hell it is at beautifulbourbon.com. You can also go to bourbcast.com. I bought bourbcast.com. Bourbcast. Bourbcast. Yeah. So you can go there and check out past Bourbcasts and check out what we're doing. It's not as up to date as this is, so this is fine. And then, of course, Instagram as well. And we're populating YouTube, and we're starting to get some nice subscriptions there. So if you want to check us out on YouTube, I'd love another subscription. The more we get, the more it spreads. The more the bots behind the thing say, hey, look at this. So, the what? Algorithm. The rhythm. No, that's not the same type of rhythm. Anyway, we will see you next Wednesday. I'm just getting silly now at this point. We will see you next Wednesday. Thank you for watching, especially those of you who have never been here before. I do appreciate it. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And we'll see you next Wednesday for the High West. I never remember what it's called. American Prairie Bourbon. All right? You guys take care and have a great what's left of your week, and we will see you next week.